Good evening, everybody. This is a quick video I wanted to make to demonstrate the importance of policy-driven controls and zero trust approach to application security, such as application whitelisting and ring fencing. What I'd like to do is just show you three different pieces of malware. I have two computers here, a VM running a corporate antivirus. I'm not going to go into which corporate antivirus, but it is a paid antivirus. It is very, very popular. And it really doesn't matter because I've tried this with 9 or 10 different antiviruses, and most of these pieces of malware bypass all of them. I have a second server, which is basically an AWS server sitting in the cloud. They're not on the same network. There's no link to them. This server is accepting HTTPS connections to receive data. I've got three pieces of malware here. They all work in different ways. The first one I'll start with is a traditional exe virus, but it disguises itself with an Excel icon. So if someone was to swap out a document, it'd be very easy for you to run it without knowing. When you open this file, it appears as though nothing happens. In the background, though, the file sits on the computer and it sits there idle for 30 seconds. The reason for that is to bypass the typical sandboxing checks. And in about 30 seconds, it's going to start to upload data to my server here. So we'll give it 30 seconds. And we can start seeing all of the files that from my file server have been copied to this remote host. This shows how easy it is for an attacker to convince you to open something and just steal your data without you even being aware of it. I'm going to delete these files now. I'm going to show you the next demonstration. The next type of virus I've got is actually using a macro in a Word document. So when you open the document, it will tell you, it may or may not tell you, do you want to enable macros? In this case, it's not going to. And the reason is I signed this macro using just a quick cert. I signed up online. I set up a Yelp page for a business name and a website, and got one of the digital certificate companies to issue me a code signing cert. And I was able to sign the macro so it didn't give me the normal security prompts. This is getting more and more common, especially in the US. You do have to jump through a few hoops, but if you sign by a Chinese company or a Russian company, you might have to jump through a lot less hoops. You can see again, just by opening that document, it was able to upload all of my data onto this remote server. And the third and final test isn't even going to use a macro. This one's, or download any kind of malware on my machine. What this one's going to do is when I open it, it's going to call a PowerShell command. And that PowerShell command is actually going to go off and copy a file. So I'm going to delete all the files off my server again. And it's only going to copy one file, this one, because I just did it very quickly, so I didn't want to take too long from my file share. So if I click on this link in a document, I don't need a macro. It simply just copies a file from my file server. I think it's an 8K file, so it's going to be this one here, I guess, and just dumps it onto this stolen host. This really isn't to scare you. It really is just to show you how threat detection technologies are looking for bad patterns based on things they've seen before. None of these pieces of malware are particularly genius. They took at most an hour and a half, 2 hours to put together. And I was able to create files and create samples that were able to copy data. And as a business, you have to realize that I don't need to be an administrator to get this data. I didn't elevate in any way. I just ran these viruses under a normal user account, and anything that user has access to essentially is fair game for that program to copy and steal. So it really is important that you control what are running on your business computers and what those applications can do. Most people only use 5-10 applications, so it's really strange that as businesses we still allow our operating systems to run whatever the user clicks on, potentially exposing ourselves to data theft, ransomware, or other types of encryption. It really is worth looking at things like ThreatLocker, or even if it's not ThreatLocker, but some kind of application whitelisting and ring fencing tools. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this.